Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to continue discussing things that you should not do or say at a job interview. So there's part 1. If you haven't seen part 1 as yet, take some time to go back and look at it. Check out part 1. I think it's about 15 minutes or so long. So go back and check out part 1 of things that you should not do or say in a job interview. And so today I'm just going to finish up that particular segment about the don'ts, right? So these are all the don'ts when it comes to a job interview. So if you want to get a job, don't do these things. All right, so kind of picking up where I left off on that video. So one of the first things is in today's discussion is please don't provide any false information and don't exaggerate at all when you're in a job interview or on your resume, right? So please do not provide false information and don't exaggerate, right? So don't be lying on your resume. Don't stretch your skills out, make yourself sound like you can do all these types of things when you really can't. So, you're going in saying that you're great at statistics or you're good at some type of stuff and you're really not good at it at all. You're a great public speaker, right? Claiming to be a great public speaker because they said they're looking for a great public speaker or someone who's really good at public speaking, and you hate getting up in front of people talking. You're a disaster doing that. It's not your strength, but you put it on your resume and you exaggerate or you lie in the job interview. That is not going to look good it's not going to look good at all, right? So that's just not something you want to do. You don't want to create some type of negative perception about yourself that could then follow you as you move on in your career. That is not something that you want to do, right? So don't exaggerate and don't lie on your resume or in the interview. All right, so I've got a list of stuff here that I'm going through. All right, so at no time should you forget that you are in a job interview. Try to keep it professional all the way through. So, all the way through, right? From the time you get to wherever your interview is, keep it professional, right? And until you leave, right? And, there are times when you might get into laughing and talking, and all that's good because I think when you start laughing and talking with people who are interviewing you, it's a positive sign that it's not just a back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They ask you a question, you answer the question. That is not a good interview, right? But don't get so relaxed in the interview that you start cussing, you start swearing, you start to lay back and start just looking like you're at home and just, no. Keep it professional. Remember, you're still trying to get the job. So just kind of keep that in mind. That's the next thing that I want you to remember. You're professional all the way through. Be professional. All right, the other thing is, it is watch your artifacts, right? Watch your artifacts. And when I say artifacts, that would be tattoos and earrings, piercings, right? So depending on where you're going to try to get a job, a lot of people are going to kind of look at that in a certain type of way. So, if you've got tattoos, you've got the teardrop and you got tattoos all over your face, tattoos on your neck, and you can't cover them up. I hate to say it. Yes, you're grown, you're an adult. You can put tattoos wherever you want to put them. But you've got to remember that there are consequences for stuff like that. And some people just don't like that type of stuff. And so if you can cover that stuff up, put on makeup or whatever the case is so that it doesn't show. If you can, especially for men, if you can wear like your shirt and your tie and your suit or whatever that covers that stuff down. Like a lot of people just don't like that, and you may not like it, but the truth is, yeah, we live in a world where there are biases and people do have a perception of people that carry themselves a certain way. It is just a fact. Remember, they don't need you, or more, you probably need them more because you're the one who's trying to get the job, right? So watch those. And the long, for women, try to avoid those long earrings, those big, long earrings. Try to keep it more simple. Simple is wonderful, right? Simple is wonderful, right? So try to stay away from those big, long earrings and stuff like that, touching your shoulders or whatever the case is, right? And for men too, right? Try to stay away from all that type of stuff. I hate to say it, I know you might not like it, but some people judge. It's the world that we live in. Remember, you're trying to get the job, right? You're trying to get the job. So watch the piercings and the tattoos, right? Because a lot of people just are not with those. All right. Next is don't act don't act desperate, right? I will do anything. Really? Right? Really? I mean, I don't think they want anybody who's going to do anything. They have a specific role that they're interviewing for, right? And it's nice if you can chip in and help out with other things within the company or whatever the case is. But you're willing to do anything. You act so desperate. I'll do anything. No, that just does not look good. It makes you appear really desperate, and actually it comes against you, right? It's one thing to say that you're a team player and you could provide evidence to suggest that you are a team player. Talk about how you've worked with teams to, accomplish certain goals and all that sort of stuff. That's what employers want to hear. Your potential employers want to hear. But to say that you're going to do anything just smells of desperation, and that is just not going to get you the job. So please don't appear to be desperate at any point in time. That is just not going to work for you. That's something else I want you to take into consideration. All right, the other thing is don't stumble on questions that you should be able to answer, right? Don't stumble on questions that you should be able to answer, right? So tell me about yourself. Oh geez, if you can't tell me about yourself, right? And if it's a panel, they will say, so tell us about yourself. Tell us a little about you. And you are mumbling and stumbling and yeah, that is just not going to work. All those you know what I mean, and that is not about yourself. What I'm saying is you can't even talk about you and make a good case for why you are the best person for the job. And then when people say tell them about yourself, it's not about your personal life, right? That is not about your personal life. It's not about how many kids you have. It's not about how many dogs or cats you have. It's not about your favorite place to vacation or whatever the case is. It's not about the drama that's going on inside of your relationship. It's not about your political affiliations, and unless you're applying at some kind of political place or whatever the case is for a job there. It's not about those things. It's about your work experience and your skills and the stuff that makes you the best fit for the job. So when they say tell me about yourself, you have to build a story, looking at your resume and your skills, build a story, right? Choosing the relevant skills and experience that you have that tells them why you're the best fit for the job that you're currently applying for. So you're going to tell a story, right? Start back to where, I don't know, let's just say you want to be a teacher somewhere, right? So start where were you volunteering as a tutor? I will start there. It shows a pattern of you being involved in education. Did you tutor kids at your school, at your church, right? At some kind of youth organization or something like that? Because you're showing it from a young age. You're starting to tell that story. You're building up. You're picking every bit of relevant information. Were you a research assistant or a teaching assistant when you were in college? Again, you're building up that story to tell them why you're the best fit for them to hire. You're the best person for them to hire. Best fit for the job. If that was specifically, let's say you're trying to get a teaching job or something somewhere, and that's just an example, right? If it was sales and you've been selling since you're 17 or 18, right? And now you've moved on from, you graduated college, you're trying to get a sales job. you go back and you start talking about when you first got into sales and anything related, because you're trying to build and tell that story to show that this is something that you've always been passionate about and interested in, right? So it's not all the other things, it's your resume and your skills. When they say tell me about yourself, if you can't answer that, then you're going to have serious problems in a job interview. You probably failed that interview. All right, let's see what else. I have a list of stuff here that I want you to. Okay, don't bring pets. As silly as that might sound, don't bring any pets, your cat, your dog, unless it's a service dog or something like that, right? And you absolutely need to have that with you. Don't bring, your family or whatever. It's not a graduation, right? Don't bring all those set of people to, no. You are the person applying for the job. Now, they could drop you off and wait outside or whatever the case is, but you have to go in there and show that you're an adult, that you're actually able to operate on your own. You're able to not just pursue the job, but you're actually able to do the job, and they're not trying to hire you and somebody else, right? So try to leave all the pets and all the kind of stuff at home. They can wait for you outside and support you, that type of way. But try to be careful what you bring into a job interview. All right, let's see what else I want to go over here. There's quite a lot. Let's see what else I want to cover here. All right, let's see. All right, don't make excuses in the job interview. When they ask you certain questions, make sure that you're accountable. Take ownership for things that you have done, and try not to make a whole lot of excuses and blame your coworkers for this, and blame people for why you were never able to accomplish a certain task, and blame your team members for why so and so, and blame, well, what about you? What role did you play in that? Be accountable for certain things. Don't try to point fingers and blame people. And remember what I said, check out part 1 where I talked about don't go talking bad about the people where either you're currently working there and you're trying to change your job, or you used to work there. Don't go bad mouthing people, because that's not going to get you anywhere either. So don't make excuses. Be accountable for stuff. Be responsible. That's what people are looking for. Don't try to cast blame everywhere else except on yourself, right? You got to take ownership for the things that you were involved in. All right. Finally, one more. Let's do one more. So at the end of an interview, they would typically say, do you have any questions for us? Try to ask stuff that is meaningful. Try to ask stuff that is really, really important. And try to ask stuff that makes it seem like you did some research. Please don't ask them, so what does your company do? Ooh, that is just... So let me get this straight. You are applying for a job here, and when I tell you to ask us questions, now it's your turn to ask us questions. You turn to us and say, so what does your company do? Okay, so you don't know what we do, but you want a job here. Okay, so you're not going to get that job. Let me just make it really simple for you. Don't ask dumb stuff like that, right? They said there are no stupid questions. That's a stupid one, right? So don't ask so what do you do? You're applying for a job here. You probably should have done your research, right? You're probably not going to get the job, right? You're probably not going to get that job. All right, so that's like you showing up at Walmart for a job and then asking, so what does Walmart do? Okay, Walmart probably doesn't want to hire you if you haven't already done some research on that. So those are just a couple of things I wanted to go through. I'm going to talk about money and how do you talk about money in interviews in a completely separate video. So I'm not going to kind of lump that in here, but you got to be careful how you have that money conversation. Now, in the workshops that I do, that's a lot of times that's what people ask me, like, how do I ask for a raise? How do I talk about money and all that sort of stuff? So that's a completely separate video that I want to do all on its own, right? So we're going to stop here for now. But as usual, please subscribe. Please turn on your post notifications. Please leave your comments. Ask questions. I'll always respond to them in another video or right here in the chat. Also, don't forget to share the videos. That's how the channel grows. So I really appreciate you sharing the videos and hitting the like button. That is also extremely important as well. All right. And of course, when you turn on your post notifications, I post pretty much every single day, at least 5-6 times a week. So I'm always posting something, right? And if there's a video that you would like for me to make, then please just contact me, leave it in the comments or whatever the case is, and I'll definitely look into it. So until next time, take care and peace.